Well, hello friends, pro-life leader Frank Pavone here, National Director of Priests for Life, and I am pleased to bring you my daily diary today covering 4 days: Monday, July 17th, Tuesday the 18th, Wednesday the 19th, and Thursday, July 20th of 2023. What did I do? So these days I was here in my Priests for Life office headquarters with a nice full day of work each of these days. Started off early on Monday the 17th. I had just come back the night before from a trip. I was still catching up on paperwork at my desk and planning for staff work to be done during the week. I had the usual administrative phone call in the morning at breakfast and the staff briefing at 8:30, after which I met with our executive manager and our video production and studio team. There was a lot of taping being done this week, and we got ready for all of that, followed by a 10:30 meeting with our executive director and technology officer, and then at 11 with our studio team in detail, meeting with them about the very things you're watching now, the broadcasts and all our different programmings. Lots of planning goes into that. Lots of people are reached with the pro-life message. Had a bunch of desk work covering topics like the following: upcoming meeting in preparation for the National Pro-Life Religious Council Board meeting, which I lead, upcoming broadcasts for Radio Maria, approvals of emails going out, expansion of the destinations for our live streaming, approval and further work on Newsmax advertising, communication with the Pregnancy Center in terms of an upcoming gala, Council for National Policy, information dealing with that conservative group of which I'm a member, and also working with the staff to point them to some new photos that we want to have on our. We have a nice rotating display for visitors to our headquarters. They see photos of our different ministries and activities out on the road. Always encouraging for them. And then did all that work midday, meeting with different staff as well. 3:30 p.m. I had an executive meeting with our executive director and vice chairman just to do some planning for upcoming activities. More desk work, and then at 5 o'clock had an hour-long taping of a podcast. I was a guest on somebody else's program, and did that. Then went into dinner, looking at end-of-day reports, and just a quiet evening of work here at the office. Didn't stay up too late. Tuesday the 18th, similar kind of day. Went shopping in the morning over to the local grocery store and got some things we needed here for in the building, and did my administrative phone call in the morning, the 8:30 staff briefing, had a 9:15 meeting with our travel coordinator looking at some of my upcoming trips and invitations, a 9:30 meeting with our executive director and executive manager looking at some broadcasting work we are doing and approving some things for that. I went into a 10 o'clock meeting with our resource department and a 10:30 meeting with our studio team, and we had visiting with us on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday our videographer from up in New Jersey, and that's Kurt. He works with us, has worked with us for a long time, so we had an extensive meeting of him with some staff. I had desk work and email work regarding broadcasting, regarding communication with some pro-life researchers in the area of psychiatry, working on some trips coming up, working on a letter to some conservative leaders, working on approving some communications with our upper donors, working with Catholic Online. They have the online school to which I'm now a contributor, and web work, contributor by means of classes that I tape, and some website work with our web department. Took us through lunch here in early afternoon. Then I did a taping here in the studio with Janet, our executive director, for one of our upcoming programs. Did that, and then did some more taping of my scripture reflections and of this program, my daily diary. And then in the evening, had an update call at 6 with our administrative team member Mark, and then had quiet work here at the office the rest of the evening. Didn't stay up too late Tuesday either. Wednesday, the 19th of July, brought some early morning taping here in the studio before breakfast. I taped a Praying for America program and got ready for the day in other ways. We had our administrative phone call during breakfast. We had our 8:30 staff meeting, and then at 9, a meeting of our studio team. Once again, being our videographer is here, we are doing upgrades of various kinds, training because we have a new employee that we've been training, and just a lot of taping and plans for expanding our broadcasts. In terms of desk work and emails, I had some details in regard to these broadcast programs that I had to communicate with staff. I had some work to do to approve a new brochure that we're doing about our programming. Approved an action alert that will be going out. Communication with one of the Respect Life committees here in the Orlando Diocese. Worked on setting up interviews with guests for our programming. Worked on a fax, approving a fax, that is, for all the Catholic parishes of the country. We communicate regularly with all the clergy. Approving an upcoming travelogue, some media appointments, and dealing with the situation in the state of Maine, where the pro-abortion lawmakers up there, all Democrats, pushed for and got a law for expanding abortion in the latest weeks of pregnancy. Then I did some more scripture taping, the scripture reflections that you see if you watch our programming. Did some of that taping before lunch. Then I had a working lunch with Rob and Kurt, that is our social media coordinator and our videographer. We had a working lunch and then came back to the office. I did a taping in the mid-afternoon of our Praying for America program. Lots of other desk work on some of the topics I mentioned, and then came back in the studio and did some of those react videos, you know, where there's a news story or somebody's on some other video clip and I'm reacting to it. Those are very effective videos. And then I had a quiet, restful night here at headquarters. And then Thursday, the 20th of July, up early in the morning and did some early taping, some early desk work, things like the action alert, giving final approval to that, the Newsmax ad, preparing some more React stories and communications with local pregnancy center, meetings with staff, the usual morning meetings, meetings with our broadcast team, checking in with various other staff, our media, our communications director and other people on the team here, our public outreach coordinator, social media, of course, and so forth. Then I had a big lunch because then I went at 1 o'clock to the local blood center to donate blood, and then came back here at 2 o'clock. We had a meeting with our media advisors to talk about expansion in media. That was at 2, lasted until about 2:40. At 2:45, had a meeting with various departments, following up on my recent trip to the TPUSA conference, where I go over with these various staff people those that they need to follow up with, whom I met on the course of the trip. Some media interviews, some political people, other leaders that we want to collaborate with. So I had that meeting with those staff members to lay all that out. After that, I had to have a meeting with our communications director and executive director and travel coordinator, and then also with one of our technology associates. Came back here in the studio for a 4 p.m. taping with one of our local political activists. He was giving advice on that program as to how people can become precinct committee men and women, and a very helpful program. As soon as that was done, I did more taping at 4:30 of various shorter videos. Went back to my desk, got some end-of-day reports, and then at 5:15 was on a radio program for about 15 or 20 minutes, after which at 5:30, 5:35, I had a phone call with one of the local Florida political activists. That call lasted about 20 minutes. And then I had a quiet evening, had dinner here, did some miscellaneous work to conclude the day. So that's what I did, morning to night, July the 17th to the 20th of 2023. I hope your work for the unborn is going well. You are certainly in my prayers and certainly have my gratitude for your efforts in this great movement. Talk to you soon. God bless.